3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, I'm Edmund Lowell, and I'm the founder of KYC Chain. And what we are doing is using blockchain technology to try to make KYC process less painful. So by show of hands, who here in the room has gone through a KYC process? So any of you that haven't raised your hand, you're lying. You've gone through a KYC process. If you've ever set up a bank account, if you've ever set up a utility bill, if you've ever set up a telco bill and got a SIM card in Thailand, you have to give your passport, you have to give your ID. And so this really incurs a lot of cost for the bank, for the telco, for whatever company is checking that you are who you say you are. And these costs are going up. They've gone up around 18% in the last year alone. And in Asia, it takes about 26 days to set up a bank account, which is way too long. And our thesis is the reason why it takes so long is because we don't have a digital identity. And that's really the core problem that we're trying to solve. We think that right now we have the railroad problem that exists in the US in the 1900s. So one company, one railroad company uses one size gauge, and because of that, the train only can go to a certain place, and then it has to be stopped, unloaded, loaded onto a new train before it can keep going. So what we're trying to do is connect different databases in different banks and different companies together with the digital identity, a common digital rails. So the benefits of this type of solution is that the customers can constantly update their KYC. So now you are in charge of your documents and your data, and you really have ownership over this data. So this is a concept called self-sovereign identity. I could talk about that for 3 hours, but I've got 3 minutes, so I've got to keep moving on. And so the banks essentially can share this data, but only with the customer consent, and that's the key point. And the regulators have some sort of auditability over this. So this concept in and of itself is not necessarily new. There are some existing companies that have already built and are in the market with this type of product. But their concept is very different from ours because their concept is based around a database, and ours is based around a blockchain. So what is the difference between a blockchain and a database? Again, I've got 3 minutes, but a database is essentially a centralized approach where all of the data is collected in one place, and essentially what that represents is a single point of failure. Whereas a blockchain is a distributed approach where you have self-sovereign digital identity. So our product is a dashboard and API that connects to this blockchain and allows a bank or other companies such as a telco to access our system. So essentially, we can look at a use case here in Thailand of opening up an account at a bank with a cell phone. So very, very simply, if you've already given your account to your Thai ID card to a company, such as a telco, True, you would have received a SIM card for that ID check, and then you would have, at that point, been able to go to a bank and walk in and have to fill out a bunch of forms if you didn't use KYC Chain. If you did use KYC Chain, it would be as simple as logging in, going and clicking on, let me take a selfie, and then going and taking a selfie. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, what it will look like to open up a bank account in Thailand in the future. Thank you, we are KYC Chain.